knuckles and no shaft.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to your shaft?
There's powerful at work here.
Who in the hell are you?
Nigga, my name is Reverend Father Uncle Ruckus. No relation. In the name of white Jesus and all great white men who have come thereafter, I command our black nigger soul back to the depths of hell.
Is that all you got?
Oh, no. That's just the tip of this iceberg. Read! Read!
Hello everybody and welcome back to The Last 1314 for some more Cell content. Today we're doing Switch Force. So, I know that you all are dying to get into the content, so let's jump right in.
Cyberpunk 2077 direct feed footage just got posted for Switch 2, and console warriors are already losing their minds because it looks so good and they can't handle a really great Switch 2. Plus, Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Nintendo Switch 2 later this year. That's the big rumor that leaked over the weekend.
I think you need to get your eyes checked. I really think you need to get your eyes checked. Oh wait. You broke them by playing Switch for the last 8 years. You broke them. So go get your eyes checked, because that shit looks like ass. It looks not that great. It looks barely better than the PS4 version. Not even the PS4 Pro version, but the PS4 version. Seriously, get your eyes checked, my guy. Get your eyes checked.
And Nintendo this morning just confirmed they're headed back to Gamescom, which could mean big new titles that they've yet to announce, maybe in a very soon Nintendo Direct. So let's break it all down in today's video. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. What a time to...
Alright, we're doing something a bit different. I'm going to rant about this one specific thing. Your intro sucks. Your intro sucks. I don't understand why you do this. Your intro is Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Your intro makes me want to not watch your video. Your intro makes me want to fucking click off the video. So, let's go over what makes a good intro and what makes a bad intro, because I think a lot of people don't understand it. A good intro is something that hooks the audience and keeps them engaged. Using one of our own salt miners intros, Klutzy's "Good morning everybody, how are y'all doing today?" is actually a very good intro, as it starts off by saying good morning, which greets the audience, and then asks how is everybody doing, and then afterwards he goes into how he's doing. That gives people's attention. Another one is Desire's "Greetings and salutations everybody, it is I, Desire," which again is a greeting, which allows people to get excited for the video, and makes it so that people understand what's going on. He also has a second intro, after he's explained everything for his salt content, by saying, "And let's get into that beautiful salt content," which, if you didn't know, actually gets people more engaged. Then, of course, you have two very popular choices in "Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier," and "Top of the morning to you laddies, my name is Jacksepticeye, and welcome back to whatever it is." Those two are very short, very sweet, and very understanding. They both are started at the very beginning and allow you to get into the video. Your intro, on the other hand, focuses more on Mario than on your audience. You can notice all the other intros that I listed, it either introduces you, like Dez's, Markiplier's, and Jack's, or asks you a question, like Klutzy's. Your intro focuses more on Mario, which I think makes a lot of sense because you are a corporate cuck, which means to you, the corporation matters more than your audience, and the people that actually watch you. So, I'm actually going to give you some constructive criticism right now, and suggest that you change your intro. Instead of having it being "Good morning Mario" and "Good morning Switch fans," it should be good morning everybody, and good morning Switch fans, or good morning Switch fans, how are you doing today? Something more similar to Klutzy's. Or do something more similar to Desires and say, good morning Switch fans and welcome to Switch Wars. Those actually roll off the tongue more easily and actually get your viewers excited and engaged. But you don't fucking understand that. Because again, you are a corporate cuck. Which makes it a bit more funny that you decide, yeah, I'm going to criticize console warriors when that's what you've been doing this entire time.
Be Alive, where everybody's hating on the Switch 2 because it looks so good. Let's kick it off there. Cyberpunk 2077, it got like 37 minutes of footage, okay? And in this footage, it looks really, really nice. And people are freaking out, trying to downplay it, say it sucks, and make up reasons why the PS5 is better. Now look, I like all games, okay? Over the weekend, I was playing Doom the Dark Ages on my...
If y'all didn't know this about me, I used to be a computer engineer major. So I have a little bit more to say on this topic than most. Let's go into the architecture for the Switch 2 and explain why it's not that great. So the Switch 2 uses a custom NVIDIA chip with a 8-core CPU and I believe a 6-core GPU. These specs have leaked out and we have seen what they are equivalent to. And it's not that great. The GPU docked is equivalent to a 2050. Now if you don't know what the 2050 is, I wouldn't blame you. So let me explain it. The 2050 is the baseline entry-level GPU from the 20 series, which was released in 2018. That is a long time ago. We are now in 2025. And if you didn't know what those GPUs are called, those GPUs are known as e-waste GPUs. Basically, they only exist to prop up the next highest tier, which is the 60 class cards. Those being the 2060, 3060, or 4060. And as we have seen from recent years, with things like the 4050 being exclusive to laptops, the 50 class cards really don't shine anywhere that well. In terms of performance, they are much worse than the 60 class counterparts, even of last gen or 2 generations ago, and don't really have that great of price points, being only $50 to $100 less than the equivalent 60 class cards. These cards only exist to prop up the other card. So, if you understand that, maybe you'll understand this too. Per Digital Foundry's reports, the game runs at an internal resolution of 540p and is upscaled to 4K. Now, upscaling itself isn't bad, it is a good tool, but this does not bode well for the Switch, as we have seen with PC ports. They focus more on having as we've seen with PC ports, they focus more on having less optimization and instead relying on AI to do the optimization rather than actually optimizing the game. Now, I don't doubt that CD Projekt Red tried to optimize this game for the Switch, but if 540p internal resolution and a max frame rate of 40 FPS is the best that CDPR could do, my hopes are not high.
Xbox Series X. Okay, I've been playing the wonderful Expedition 33 on my PS5, and I'm super excited, obviously, beyond hyped for the Switch 2. Why can't we just like all of them? I mean, I'm about to play Monster Train 2 on my Steam Deck / PC. Cyberpunk looks so good, and people are trying to downplay it. I don't know why we can't just accept and enjoy all consoles, specifically Nintendo. People don't want Nintendo to be doing good. Like I've said before, I think they're just so used to Switch and Nintendo being the baby machine that all of a sudden if it has graphics, they don't really know what to do with themselves. But what they
The problem is that it doesn't have graphics. Like I said earlier, this GPU is as powerful as a 2050 in docked mode. It is less powerful than a Steam Deck in hand. So you are going to be relying a whole lot on DLSS upscale. That is not good. That is really not good. Especially because of the fact of its price. The console's $450 base. Which, if you didn't know, is the same price right now. Right now, as I'm recording this on May 21st of 2025, as the PS5 digital version. Now, you do lose out on some things when it comes to those two. But when it comes to performance, you have a PS5 which can play this game at 1440p native at 60 FPS, compared to a Switch 2 which plays this at 4K upscaled at barely 30. Now it makes sense which one of the two you would buy. I would buy neither. Go with a fucking Steam Deck. It's gonna be much better. You're gonna have better performance when it comes to handheld games, because again, the Steam Deck is more powerful in handheld than a Switch 2. And you get access to Steam, which is a much better library.
should do is just embrace it and maybe even consider getting one, because this console is sick. And there's a little bit of a deeper layer there where people are saying, hey, the Switch 2 is upscaling a game like Cyberpunk 2077 into 4K, whereas the PS5 or a PC is natively running the game at 4K. And yes, there is a technical, factual difference there, but it's not one that I think should define the Switch 2 or really define how you evaluate a system or its games.
In terms like this, where we're comparing a game that's directly on both systems, and one as graphically impressive as Cyberpunk 2077, in this case it does matter. Not in all cases does graphics matter. In my opinion, graphics are the least important thing when it comes to a game. The thing that matters most to me is 1, gameplay, and 2, performance. And the problem is that Cyberpunk does not run well on the Switch 2. Again, this game runs at an internal resolution of 540p, and its max resolution is 40 FPS. That's it. That's what you're getting with the Switch 2. If you're fine with that, and you really like portability, it's there. Oh. If you don't care about portability, and you care about price to performance, a PC or a PS5 would be a much better option. And I think for most people, for third-party games, a PS5 or a PC is going to be much better. I'm just saying. I am just saying.
If we're upscaling to 4K and it looks fantastic, if we're using DLSS to kind of trick into a better looking game, a better resolution, a better frame rate, by all means go for it. It does not have to be native to be the only way. There's not one console out there that's right. There's not a console that's wrong. They can all be good, and in a way, very much a way, it's great if they're all super strong. Competition breeds innovation. Competition breeds trying hard, offering deals, and making great exclusives. So it's great to see all these games doing well. Game Pass has been on fire as of late. PS5, it's a lot of people's favorite console. And then we have Switch 2, just absolutely a juggernaut. And 2, if you want to be involved with like the coolest, newest things, companies are clearly supporting and enjoying and are excited about the Switch 2. And what other system do you get all the games? Oh, and Mario. All the games, oh, and Zelda. And I think that's where sort of this like console warrior fanboy fear comes from, of like, okay.
The irony. The irony is so sweet. This is coming from a console warrior by yourself. I am going to do this. This is a couple days after your video launched. After this specific video launched. You released a video on Randy Pitchford's recent statement about $80 games. You criticized Randy Pitchford and you criticized Borderlands 4 for being $80. And yet you have defended the Switch 2, you have defended Nintendo, and you have defended the price of Mario Kart World. That is the sign of a fanboy. So, you are saying this, that fanboys are scared, that fanboys are wetting the bed, per se, about the Switch 2. Yet, you yourself are defending a corporation the same way that someone like Tripster, the same way that someone like Dreamcast Guy, the same way that someone like Reforge would defend the company. The only thing that's different is the logo on the box. That's it. That's really it. I don't know what else you want me to say. I don't understand what else you want me to say. Other than that you are a corpo cuck that literally comes on stream because of Nintendo.
Okay, wait a second. Nintendo, we know they have the dominant exclusives, we know they have the games that people loved growing up, and we know that they're able to continue to evolve them, like with Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But what do we do now that they're going to have everything? As for when these would release, I think probably around the holiday season. I feel like Rockstar is confident enough that they can compete with anything Nintendo has to offer, and they probably want to avoid that early window issue where third parties maybe aren't getting the love that they deserve, given that Nintendo is not sending out review units for the Switch 2, and early on people are obviously going to prioritize the Nintendo games, and they've got two big ones right out the gates with good old Mario Kart World in June, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza in July. Maybe you wouldn't have time or dollars for Red Dead Redemption 2, but say this holiday season, October, November, even December, that's a game that I think could do really well and get a nice second boost, especially if they pair it with, hey, a Switch 2 version, a PS5 upgraded version, an Xbox Series X upgraded version, and kind of bring back their last two big games in RDR2 and GTA 5 as a first salvo before GTA 6 and get people back in the Rockstar mindset. Not like they need to be reminded. I saw GTA 5 still selling better than most new AAA games, which is crazy. Nonetheless, this is huge. And it's not as big as Nintendo getting like a brand new third-party game. Like, obviously, I prefer they get stuff like Doom the Dark Ages. I prefer they get stuff coming out later this fall, because to me, that is the sign that Nintendo Switch 2 has truly surpassed even Switch 1.
You say this, yet you don't understand anything about hardware. If you did not know this, the Switch 1 is hard to develop for because of its architectural difference between that and all the other systems. The Switch 2 and the Switch use the ARM infrastructure and ARM architecture, while everything else uses x86, which means you have to learn how to develop for another type of hardware. You have to learn how to fucking optimize for that hardware, and you have to work with lower end hardware. They complained about the Series S. What do you think is going to happen with the Switch 2? Guess what? You're not gonna get all the brand new titles. Because again, you're going off the jump, off the rip, with low-end hardware, with old generation hardware. Your architecture, you're using Ampere. You're using the same type of chip that was used in the 30 series. And the 30 series was released in 2020. It's 2025. Come on, man. You have to realize that. You're not going to, but you have to realize that This is why I hate fucking console fanboys. Because y'all think, oh, my console's superior. I understand hardware. I understand all this. When you don't. You don't fucking understand hardware. And when the specs came out, most of you thought that the specs were fake. Anything to protect the company. Anything to protect the brand. At this point, you're just hoping. You're just sieving. You're just molding.
It's got the graphics, it's got the power, it's got the potential. Give us those day and date new releases. Yes, it's great to get ports. Yes, it's great to get games that were really important to other consoles in past years. But the true sign of Switch 2 success to me, from a third-party standpoint, is do we get the games day and date? And we haven't really had a chance to see that because the system's not out. And obviously, to get your game ready for launch, you have to pick an older title. You can't pick a brand new title. But what happens when we get to those later months in 2025, and then of course every month in 2026, are we getting the games day and date? And I think the answer, based on what we've seen thus far, and based on that sweet Cyberpunk 2077 video that hopefully has you very excited, the answer should be yes. We're going to be getting games on Switch 2 the same day as they release on the other, quote, next gen or current gen, or however you want to say it, bitter gen, frustrated that Nintendo is coming to the plate gen, home run from the big N gen, PS5 and Xbox Series X. No.
The only person I see here that's better is you. Because you think that now because Nintendo has new hardware that you are now on top, when you are not. Nintendo has fumbled this launch out of the gate. They hid the prices from us because they knew what we were going to say. They hid the fact that they increased the price of games and opened Pandora's box. So that now there is a possibility that next year there is going to be a Madden game that's $80 and still has microtransactions. You say that the other consoles are better, that PC is better, when you are the one that's better, because you understand this. The Switch 2 is not as good as you think. And you know that. But you can't say that because you built your whole brand not around Nintendo, but around the Switch. So I'm going to ask you this. I want to see you play a game from the GameCube era. I want to see you play a game from the GameCube era, and I have one special for you. I have one special for you. Because you, good sir, are a hypocrite. Because you talk about console fanboys and you talk about all this, and yet you partake in it. And yet you still fanboy. You still fanboy. Looks like some old habits die hard. I guess they really did. So, welcome to the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around this long. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you don't, why are you here? But the thumbs up button is down there and I don't care. If you want more content, I release a video I release 1 to 2 videos every week, and I have streams every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. And this week So, if you enjoyed the content, stick around, subscribe, share, do all the things. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day. Take care.